What's up, guys? This is a scale that is comprised of two triads, so which makes up a hexatonic scale, and so that ends up being 6 different notes. So technically any 6-note scale is a hexatonic scale. Obviously, when we're playing in the context of a blues, it's common to think of the pentatonic scale, right? The A minor pentatonic in the case of this key being A. So you could also think of the blues scale as a hexatonic scale. So there's definitely value in restricting yourself to a particular number of notes, because it creates a certain kind of effect. And as we know, a lot of guitar music that's been created is based on just the pentatonic scale. So this is a hexatonic scale that's based on 2 different triads, and it just kind of gives you a different perspective, and that slightly different perspective will get you to play things that you wouldn't normally play. So what I'm doing here is in the key of A, over an A7 chord, I'm thinking an A major triad. Okay, that's 1 octave there. And a C minor triad. So the A major triad obviously gives you 1, 3, 5 of the chord. And then the C minor triad is what gives you some of those richer colors. So C being the flat 3 or the sharp 9. And then the E flat is the flat 5, which some people call the blue note. And then the G in the C minor triad gives you the flat 7 of A. So C minor against A. So in the blues, you know, one of the things that's cool about the blues is it's all about combining the major and the minor third. And that really gives you that blues sound. You know, I mean, if you just play a regular A major chord and then put in that minor third, you wouldn't think that would work, but that's what gives you that blues sound. And yeah, from a sort of intuitive standpoint, it would, on the first time kind of being introduced to this concept, it might not make sense, but once you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. It totally makes sense. Anyway, so what could be cool to do is to map out all 6 strings in whatever position that you're in, the 2 different triads. So in this case, A major, and then the C minor. Okay, so that one's a little bit awkward when you keep it in that position, but that would give you a nice perspective against the root here. Yeah, so that would just be one position of it, and so it would be good to map out the different positions, so that would give you the maximum freedom. And one thing I do a lot is I use my looper pedal, and I'll just, like I did at the beginning of this video, loop just, for instance, in this case, an A7 chord, and I'll just run for a long time, maybe even up to like 30 minutes, so I'll just practice those 2 triads in many different kind of combinations. And your ear starts becoming more acclimated to the colors, and you start getting more inside of the different interval combinations. So one thing to keep in mind is you don't have to spell out all of the notes of each triad all the time. I mean, you can just play, for instance, in against the C or the C minor triad, you could just play those two from the C minor and then into the A triad. And the goal would be to just kind of blend them in a way that, I mean, for the most part, the goal would be to blend them in a way so it doesn't sound like you're just running a bunch of triads or a bunch of arpeggios, but rather just you're creating melodies with this specific set of colors, and it'll just give your playing a certain kind of characteristic that you wouldn't otherwise get if you were just, for instance, thinking, you know, the A blues scale or the A minor pentatonic scale. Yeah, so give it a try, see what you think, have fun with it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next lesson.